Good evening, everybody. This is Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is February 5th, and I'm going to do a little video here on the state of the markets. And I'm not saying I know what's going on or what's going to happen here, but I thought I'd talk to you about some of the things that are going through my head, and maybe it'll help you work through your processes here. So, today was one of the biggest sell-offs we've seen in the markets, right? And if you look at the SPY here, and I'm going to come to the SPX in a minute, this was a wicked, wicked candle for all the way from we bounced up to 275, we closed at 263. And when you go back here in time on this, right, you kind of have to go back into 2015, all the way back here to start seeing some of this. And, you see moves like this. We had similar type moves back here in the August timeframe, right? And you can look at the volume where today we closed almost at after hours with 300 million shares. It took us a while to get here. This was 500,000 shares these days, 369. So we definitely saw a big elevated volume today. These are the type of things and moves you see that are usually capitulation type volume. Am I saying tomorrow's the bottom? I don't know. What's bothering me about this move today, they tried to bounce it, they rolled over, and they sold the living crap out of it through the 50-day without a hitch, through the bottom of the Bollinger Band, all the way to the 100-day on what I thought should have been a circuit breaker halt. We didn't. And then they bounced up and then rolled it back down for the close. And there's no news of here. And the one thing that I keep going through my head, and I'm talking to some very smart people and friends of mine in the markets who've been doing this far longer than I have, is if this is about interest rates, why are banks getting killed and beat up here? Overwhelming feeling is that there's some news out there that these people in the markets that run these big funds think they know that we don't, they're afraid of. Could be anything. Could be political, could have something to do with Trump, could be something to do with potential they think war or something's about to take place around the world that we're not aware of. I will also tell you from talking to these same people who traded back during the dot-com bust that we saw wild moves like that during that bubble year before we burst. These huge drawdowns followed by quick, rapid ramp-ups. Okay, so where does that bring us to? So that's the SPY. Let's go to the VIX here. And I want to show you this on the VIX. I'm going to go to a weekly chart to make it a little easier to see, our monthly, because I want to make it to 20 years, max available. Here you go. This is the VIX. So you take out back in the 89, right, and stuff, and you come through here. This 50 area on the VIX is usually about as high as we get. My friend and I, Katie, very smart person, been doing this forever. We're walking through and talking about this tonight, and I'm going to go into more details on that. But we're talking about this because other than the financial crisis where we spiked to almost 90, I think we hit 89, this is 50 areas about it. And you're saying, okay, Mike, well, 50 is still a little bit above here. But yeah, we're a stone's throw from 50 the way this market's trading right now. I mean, we could hit 50 in the first 5 minutes of the open tomorrow, or we could spike to their pre-markets. So I want you just to put this in the back of your head. I am in no way trying to tell you what to do or what we see here. I'm trying to show you some different things that I'm looking at here, given everything going on, in hopes of helping you guys make decisions about your positions and how you should trade and what you should do moving forward. Nobody can tell you what to do here. You have to do this on your own. So I'm trying to give you information. So maybe you're not looking at things this way. So 50 is a big area. So let's take this back. And I want to show you what's going on in some of the ETFs that track the VIX tonight, specifically the ones that are inverse. So when volatility is low, they go up. So the XIV tonight is getting destroyed after hours. Closed around 100 and went down to 10, is trading at 1545. This is unbelievable. It traded, if you're willing to understand this, it traded 18 million shares during the day. It is over 47 million shares total. That means that almost 30 million shares were traded after hours tonight on this drop. So this is not a joke. This was some big institutional dumping of this thing. Jim Cramer has a little article on CNBC. I'm not touting Jim Cramer, but I want to point this out that he's saying this is implying that the VIX is going to pop over 50 on the open. He's not really wrong on this. Something's wrong here. And if it was just this instrument, the XIV, which is a Credit Suisse, right, ETF, I would say, okay. But then I look at the SPXY, and it did the same exact thing on even bigger volume. So something's wrong here. This market is in panic mode and is afraid of something, whatever it is, we don't know. But it's afraid here. It's very, very afraid for the first time in a long, long time. That doesn't mean that the end may not be close. That doesn't mean that you should sell everything. It means you need to start thinking about this differently. I'm pointing this out because you have a generation of traders who have never traded in a bear market or been through these very volatile situations. I'm not just talking about us who do this retail for a living. I'm talking about people in Wall Street that are managing these funds who are often making these decisions without somebody necessarily sitting there and talking them through it. So take that into account. So let's go back to the SPX. Okay. I want to bring this up. Very important to me here. The SPX here, 3% correction, 5%, right? We hadn't hit a 3% in a year plus since the election. Slice through that, slice through the 5, all the way to the 100-day. Here's your 10% now. I got that put on here because now we need to put it. January gains are gone, all wiped out here in this thing. So, if you were just holding here, you're getting hit. Doesn't mean it's over, but it means, you're feeling the pain here. The ES here, as we come in after hours, okay, mostly flat. All right, here's our close. We haven't done much yet. It's 8:30 in the evening Eastern time, and it hasn't really dumped or done anything. I want to also tell you that every indication is that we should be getting close to some type of bounce. If this is true, I felt we should have bounced today, and we didn't. Okay, let's look at something. I like to look at the oscillators. Why am I looking at the oscillators here? Here's your NYMOT. Your NYMOT is, the NASDAQ oscillator. Usually 200 is a really oversold reading. We closed today at negative 295. That does not count after hours activity. This is the close of the market day. All right, if I look at that and I go to the New York stock market, my bad, NYMOT, negative 358. I don't know when we last saw this, to be perfectly honest with you. So let's do something here. Let's go to a weekly. 10 years of weekly data on this. So we haven't seen this since April of 2010. And then before that, the dot-com crash. So we really haven't seen readings like this in forever. So I'm just trying to put this in perspective, guys. We are viciously, viciously oversold here on multiple time frames now. If you look at the SPX itself, right? The SPX RSI from deeply oversold to plus 70 all the way down to under 30, right? So overbought, some deeply overbought from plus 80 to almost plus 90 all the way down here in very short time. So why am I going through this with you guys tonight? And I'm going to put this video out there for all of you is because you need to start looking at this before you panic sell. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying what you should do. I'm saying you need to look at this information and make a decision. This is extremely extended down. We are the 8 days at 27.79. We are at 26.48. We are hugely extended. Let's just go to the SPY. Do the same thing on the SPY, right? Because the SPY is the ETF most of us trade. We don't trade the SPX. Come on, give me an update. Right? 8-day is all the way up here at 27.77. We're down at 26.63. We do not look at this. You don't see it get this extended very often like this. You just don't. We are extremely extended down. You've heard me for the last year constantly talk about being extended to the upside. We're beyond extended down. We're way out of the Bollinger Bands. If we open red tomorrow, I will be looking for short-term bounces. Now let's talk about this. And there's a reason for it. With the implied volatility, with the VIX up, options and implied volatility are through the roof. So if you're going to trade options, you need to be close to the money or in the money tomorrow for short-term scalps, because the IV, if we start to bounce and the VIX starts crashing, the volatility on options is going to drop quickly. You're probably better off tomorrow grabbing common and scalping things with common. Trading it with options can be tough if you don't have the right ones. So just some thoughts to put out there for you guys, some things to think about here. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to tell you we're in for a good day tomorrow. I'm telling you, my mind, this is overblown, overdone, since there's no news, unless there's some news coming that the market is catching on to that we don't know about. So tomorrow we'll see how we open. We'll see what we do overnight here. We closed on the lows. For me, the best play tomorrow would be a red open and reverse higher, retake on the SPY back and try to bounce up to the Bollinger Band, which is coming down quick. So that would be the play I would hope to find tomorrow. If we don't hold and we go lower, we'll go from there. Again, the SPX, guys, if you were looking for a 10% correction, which seemed unthinkable a couple days ago, is not that far below here anymore, right? Really not that far. So something you have to put in your mind and look for. Anyway, so I hope everybody's doing okay. You're doing great. This is Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. If you need anything, you can reach out. I'll try to help you out. Everybody have a great night. For you people in my service, we'll see you guys in the morning. I'll be up early. We'll be going over this. Take care.